Morning, guys. I swear I was this close to throwing in the towel last night. This close. The manifesting masterclass is the longest video I've done so far. And funnily enough, after what the topic is about, I was like on the edge because it took me so long. It took me 10 hours overall to film, edit and upload because it was so long. It took like over an hour and a half just to save when I edited it. That took a lot out of me. I was like still editing till I was still trying to get it up at like 10 o'clock. I had my little cousin's 16th birthday and I felt like I was not present because I was just trying to get this video up. So I really hope people watch it because it took a lot out of me. But I've been wanting to do that video for the longest time, so it was worth it, and I just hope it helps anybody. But I feel better today. I've had not the best sleep, but I've slept, and I'm about to go to church. I feel like I need just some, I need to go and speak to God. So I'm going to get ready. I swear, these little outfits I have lived in, the ones that I got from Zara in the 3 different colours. I'm about to do a little video with them, that's why I've got them out. I have lived in, I haven't worn this yet, so I'm going to wear this today for church. But they are slightly busty on me because of the girls. So I'm going to wear a top underneath because I want to keep it appropriate. So I'm going to get dressed to go to church now. She says this, by the way. I'm just standing here filming. I'm going to leave in 10 minutes. I don't think it's appropriate to film in church, so I'm not going to film in church. But we will catch up afterwards. Just finished at church. And every time I go to church, I cry. The one that we go to is like amazing. They have like a gospel band. And that was what attracted me to it, like, first of all, because there's just something about everyone singing the songs together that's like really powerful. But there's this one specific song and it gets me every time. The church is so packed and everyone's like got their hands up, and it's just like a really nice collective feeling. But I cry every time, and I'm always like, when I go, don't cry today, please, don't cry today. And I went once and there was a choir, and I was thinking I'm doing really well, I haven't cried. And then they brought all the kids out and all the kids started singing, and I was like, ah! I'm so emotional, it's not normal. But I'm quite like this as a person in general. Like, if I go and see a show, like a West End show, I will like cry from overwhelm from the music. Is that normal? Does anyone else do that? I seem to get my mic to work, so I'll have to make do with this. I'm just gonna make some breakfast. I started having these little tiny baby plum tomatoes in Italy, and now I can't have anything else. But oh my god, the tomatoes in Italy are something else. They are so nice. Like, you can really taste the difference between things here and there. The food is so much better, the quality of it. Like, I only started eating fish again when I was in Italy, and I had prawns for the first time, and I was like just getting them from the supermarket, and I was like, oh my god, they're amazing. So when I came home I was like, oh, I want to buy some prawns because like I love them, so nice. They're not the same, they really don't taste nice. I'm just going to throw these into the pan with like a tiny bit of olive oil. So I just throw a couple of them in there. And then just check out a friend. The best way to make poached eggs is to use a frying pan and fill it with water. Put in 2 pieces of my sourdough in the toaster. Just crack them. That's sizzling so loud, I hope you can hear me. Just crack them into the water like you normally would. That is boiled water. And they come out perfect, and you don't have to do all the adding vinegar and the whizzing them around and all of that stuff. I don't usually have my toast this colour. I usually say I like it blonde, but I like to have some to dip and then have the rest on a piece of toast, and that's just my mush of tomatoes and spinach. That breakfast was so nice. I feel very full and satisfied. It's a nice wholesome day. Been to church, had a nice breakfast, but it's Sunday, so I'm going to have a nice Sunday reset now, and I'm going to clean my space, light a candle, and just have a nice zen day because it is freezing outside. It is so cold and grey. But look what arrived this morning. I got myself a subscription to Vogue and I feel so fancy. But I've mentioned before, I absolutely loved Vogue since I was younger. It's fabulous. Cueing the audio of Sarah Jessica Parker. Sometimes I would buy Vogue instead of food because I just felt like it fed me more. Something along them lines. I got my first Vogue came today. That's where the Vogue journal came from. It came with the subscription, so very happy about that. So I'm going to have a little clean up. I'm going to make it zen, light a candle, and then I'm going to have a little read through my Vogue, do some journaling, and just have a nice peaceful Sunday. Nothing extra going on today. I need a bit of a rest from yesterday. Yesterday was hardcore, so I'm going to do that now. Like this bag, which is just filled with assortment of different hair clamps, lots of different styles, and also it is full of hair bows in different colours. Gold, I have navy blue, I have dusky pink, I have green, and I also have a red one and a black one, but I don't know where they are. I do not wear these ever. I don't know why I have every colour, because I genuinely don't wear them. Shall I bring out the bow? Sorry, but isn't that given a little princess? Should I start wearing it just for the sake of it? High on a hill, the lonely goat, yodelay, 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 oh. This is what happens when you tidy your room. Like, why am I sitting here with a big bow on the side of my head? Ow! Anyway, thought I would just show you that random collection of bows that I have for no reason. It is so cold. I can't even get warm in the house. I am freezing. I feel like this evening I just need to have a hot bath and light some candles and just switch off. Nice Sunday reset. Obviously I'm filming every day, so I'm always kind of active, and I don't really get like a full day off because I film and I edit and I post, but it's part of the job. But I just take my filming and editing a little bit slower on a Sunday, so we just have a nice chilled Sunday vlog, and I do all the little things that make me feel calm and collected. One of them is journaling. I haven't journaled enough this year so far, but I as you can see, I do journal. I just haven't been doing it as often, but I like these diaries where my friend got me it, but it's perfect. You see the way the date isn't filled in, because I sometimes don't journal every day and I hate having gaps missing in the book. really irritates me. So I can just write the date at the top. And also sometimes, a lot of the time, I will use like 2, 3, 4 pages in one day. So when you've got like the dated journals, for me, it's inconvenient because I've either got missed days or I can't fit more than just a page in, and sometimes I want to get it all out. But how I journal, everyone does it differently. I like to kind of update a little bit about what I've done in the day, but a lot of the time it's just my thoughts and how I'm feeling on the day. It can be a mixture of gratitude or a mixture of me talking about whatever's on my mind at the time. So if I'm really thinking about my goals and my future, I will talk about that in my journal. But I do kind of treat it like an outlet for thoughts, because sometimes I feel like, for me especially, if I have someone I'm really, really close to, sometimes I feel like I'm bombarding them with my thoughts because they're never ending. And I'll just be sharing every thought in my mind throughout the day. And it can change so quickly. Like one day you can wake up and be in a bad mood and just be like, oh, this is irritating me, that's irritating me. And you can paint a picture of something that is isn't what it is. It's just how you're feeling in the moment. And then afterwards you feel like, oh, I've got to go and be like, oh, I'm fine now. Or if we've had like a depressive week and like I'm really not in a good place. And then the next day you feel fine and you're like, oh, now they're going to think I'm really depressed. And sometimes you just want to get the thoughts out. This is my point. Without speaking to someone. And I'm not saying don't speak to somebody. I'm just saying, if there's ever an instance where you feel like you want to get it out without feeling judged, without feeling like you're going to be explaining yourself, because sometimes our thoughts are irrational and they don't really match up to reality, and we can say things and then afterwards be like, I've made that sound like worse than it is, or you've had a disagreement with someone and it's frustrating you and you want to get it out, but you don't want to talk about the person to somebody, or you don't want to paint them in a bad light because you're feeling frustrated, or you're having just any kind of feeling or emotion, or just something you don't feel like you want to share. This is where I feel like journals do really well, because you can get it out. You kind of feel like you're talking to someone, especially if you start with like Dear Diary, because it's like you're writing a letter to somebody and you're getting it out and you're expressing the emotions in a healthy way. And then you haven't got to like re-explain or go over it or have guilt if you feel like you've been venting about somebody because you may have had a disagreement or they may have annoyed you. It doesn't mean you don't love the person, it just means you're irritated in the moment. You can just express your feelings in your journal. But I remember seeing in the documentary about Pamela Anderson, and she journaled her whole life, and they had like all of these books and all of these amazing stories of what had happened and just her thought process. And I was thinking, I'm so glad that I've journaled for so many years, because it's amazing just to look back on, or even, you know, in the future if I have kids, or I know this sounds morbid, but I think about when I've got kids and grandchildren and I pass one day and they can look back at my journals and be like, feel close and feel like they're understanding who I was as a person. And, you know, I don't know, there's a lot of sentiment to it, and it can be for anything though. You may not ever want anyone to read them, you want to burn them at the end of the year, but I also think it's an amazing way to look back and reflect on how you were feeling in that time and how you feel now. Because when I look at my journal from the beginning of last year, I have a journal from when I came out of my relationship, and I look at the way I was writing then and the way I was feeling, and I was like, okay, one day, the next day I was down again, I was up, down, and I read back and I'm like, oh, I wish I could go and give her a cuddle and say everything's going to work out and be fine. But it's so nice to read that and know that I'm worlds away from that place now. And then I have my journal from when I was in Italy, and I was writing down everything that happened, and I can't wait. I haven't read it back, but it will be amazing to read it back one day and be like, the first year I ever spent in Italy, like the summer I spent alone. And yeah, I just think it's a really nice thing to have. It's super important. And even if you're not going on wild adventures and your life is pretty settled and you've got your routine, even just expressing your thoughts on paper, even if they're just beautiful, lovely thoughts all the time, it is just nice to look back and read on. Or even if you're just documenting your day, like I went out with my friends today, or if you've got kids, like the kids did this today, or I went to see my mum today. Just documenting how you're feeling, what's going on in your life, and you can look back at it, and it's just nice. And make sure you keep them, because they are special. So I will have a little box collection of journals. I've got, you see this, so this was when I was still doing the dated ones. And then I discovered that I preferred not having dated ones. So this is 24 to 25. So it's mostly 24. And it's just crazy. This says, I've just opened it on a page that says the best day of my life. The day that changed my life forever. I woke up in Susie's. I noticed I had missed calls from from a number in Ireland. And I just knew straight away who it was. It was my dad. I forgot I even read that. Live evidence of me. How crazy that I've just opened it on that page. That is crazy. It just made me emotional. I actually just can't believe it. He was so lovely, and he said that he's never going to let me go again, and that he will do anything that I need him to do to help me get the passport and follow my dreams. Just wow. I am mind blown, and I have 6 sisters. I am one of 7. Like, what on earth? I just feel so incredibly grateful and happy. I'm so lucky. It's just all working out in my favour the way I hoped and dreamt it would. I wasn't expecting to open that. But that is so insane that I've just opened it on that page of all the pages. Sorry. I hoped and dreamt it would. I can now, I don't know what that says. Once all is finalised, live and work in Italy for as long as I want to have, and have the same rights as Italians. I just can't believe it. The next page says, well, things just keep getting better. I spoke to my dad some more on the phone, and then my sister messaged me on TikTok. This was Becca. She was the first one to message me. Well, followed me, and we have been speaking. It's the most surreal thing ever. I have sisters, and I have a big sister and 5 younger sisters. What the F? It's amazing. Also, my mum ordered me a camera for me to start my YouTube. So there is no going back now. I'm so excited. That was on the 10th of February 2025, and I've written at the top there, the best day of my life. Well, that was cute. See what I mean? Yeah, they're just amazing to look back on. So all of these entries from like December, November, October 2024, that was when I was going through, like, I call it my epiphany. That was when I started to realise. That was when I feel like I had my massive mindset shift and became the way I am now. It was toward the end of 2024, and something just clicked, and it was like my whole identity shifted overnight, and I've never looked back since. And it was just an amazing time. And then this is my journal from last year in Italy, and this one has literally, like, it has been written into death. There's some stories in there. We shall not read that one. That is a crazy journal that I'm always going to remember. So yeah, I have so many that I am so happy that I've kept. I've got one that is one of my favourite ones because I didn't journal for a few years afterwards, but it's from like 2012. It was when I lived with my girls, and all of our boyfriends were related. They were all cousins, and it was amazing at the time. It was like, we used to say we were like friends, like the programme Friends, because there were 6 of us, 3 girls, 3 boys. We were all dating, and it was just wild. I was in a rock band. We were all just like crazy. We had the craziest times. I am literally like a different person from them days. We were full on rock chicks and it was like really cool. Some amazing stories to look back on, but I actually writ that whole year out and I'm so annoyed I didn't continue it. So I started again a few years ago, but I love reading back that journal. I read it all the time because the stories, it's just so funny to read. And yeah, I'll have that from my Italy one, and I have this one with that. I haven't read it back, so it was just amazing to read that then. And I caught it on camera, so that was nice. So I'm gonna go do some journaling. I'm gonna have a nice little evening and I'm gonna call it a day for vlogging today. I need a little bit of a rest and a recovery, and I will see you tomorrow.